Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarajanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ऋकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकृद्भ्यो नमः नमो नमः श्री गौडपाद श्री शंकर भगवत्पाद सुरेश्वराचार्येभ्यः नमो गुरुभ्यः प्रज्ञानां शुभप्रदानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरभिदिशनोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ्मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि रज्जुरिव सर्पादिभिः विकल्प्यमाना स्थानत्रयेऽपि आत्मा एकः एव अन्तःप्रज्ञादित्वेन विकल्प्यते यदा तदा अन्तःप्रज्ञादित्वप्रतिषेधविज्ञानप्रमाणसमकालमेव आत्मनि अनर्थप्रपञ्चनिवृत्तिलक्षणफलं परिसमाप्तम् इति तुरीयादिगमे प्रमाणान्तरं साधनान्तरं वा न मृग्यं रज्जुसर्पविवेकसमकाले इव रज्ज्वां सर्पनिवृत्तिफले सति रज्ज्वादिगमस्य येषां पुनः तमोपनयव्यतिरेकेण घटाधिगमे प्रमाणं व्याप्रियते तेषां चेद्यावयसम्बन्धवियोगव्यतिरेकेण अन्यतर अवयवेऽपि चिदिः व्याप्रियते इति उक्तं स्यात् यदा पुनः घटतमसोः विवेककरणे प्रवृत्तं प्रमाणम् अनुपादिस्थिततमोनिवृत्तिफलावसानं चिदिरिव चेद्यावयसम्बन्धविवेककरणे प्रवृत्ताः अवयवद्वैतीभाव फलावसाना तदा न आन्तरीयकं घटविज्ञानं न तत् प्रमाणफलम् रज्जुः इव सर्पादिभिः विकल्प्यमाना स्थानत्रयेऽपि आत्मा एकः एव आत्मा अन्तःप्रज्ञादित्वेन विकल्प्यते रज्जुः इव सर्पादिभिः विकल्प्यमाना. We have seen this. Just like the snake and other illusions, mistakes which are committed on the rope. Similarly, on the Atma, there is a superimposition of the Antahprajna, Bahishprajna, Prajnana Ghana states that these are the Atma. I am the Vakan so and so. When I say Antahprajna or Bahishprajna Vikalpa, that means it's not about the experience of Vakan. We are not dismissing that there is an experience of Vakan or experience of dream or experience of deep sleep. That is not dismissed. But the division between the states and Nanatvam, that these are different. There are different states is what is dismissed. So there is a slight difference between the example, exact applicability of it. Okay, it is just to understand that the Vikalpa, the different things which are superimposed on the rope go away with the jnanam of rope. Okay, or for jnanam of rope to take place, the other three superimpositions have to be dismissed. Okay, so just to that extent is this example. So anthaprajnaditvena vikalpyate yada tada anthaprajnaditva pratishedah vijnana pramana samakalameva atmani anartha prapancha nivritti lakshana phalam parisamaptam. This anartha prapancha nivritti is the phalam. Why are you doing all this? Okay, what are you aiming for? It is for removal of the anartha prapancha. And when is that fruit achieved? When is the fruit of anartha prapancha removal achieved? It is during the vijnana pramana samakalam. At the same time, the moment, at the same instance, when this jnanam takes place, the anartha prapancha nivritti also happens. So this was what the point we were discussing in the last session. Okay. So the question that comes that we also discussed, so I don't want to spend a lot of time, but just to as a recap, the question typically comes is, what should I do after this jnana? The anubhava and all that experience, you have to bring it in experience, all that people say. Even this weekend I was in one bhajan session. Again, it's the same thing everybody propagates nowadays, right? Nama is enough. So what there is in Treta Yuga, people did tapas, and Krita Yuga they did something, and for Kalau, Sankirtana, Deva, and all that, which is okay. See, for Antakarana Shuddhi, for the preparedness, the easiest thing today is Nama Samkirtana and Nadopasana and all that, because you can't go to a forest and do tapas and all that these days. It's difficult. So you can say this is a simpler way. So for you to gain preparedness, we do this, right? That is how it should be said, because that is the truth. But what happens is people just in the anxiety to promote something, they say, what happened to Vishwamitra after all that tapas? So it's all, there is no use of all that. So this alone will give you mukti and all that. Okay. So then in the process, they also scold again. There was a statement like, what is the use of books? So book can't give you knowledge. Only anubhava will. And that is in only nama sankirtana satsanga, you will get that anubhava and this and that. People talk because there is this notion that just studying something can't give you. It is only like a indirect knowledge. Like then one example was also told. Okay, so there was a big book about swimming. Okay, it talks about different kind of strokes. Okay, breaststroke and this and that. All details on how you should swim, how you should keep the leg and all that. But does it make you a good swimmer? Unless you get into the water and swim, you can't become a great swimmer. Like that, all this Upanishad and all that, these are books. After you read all this, then you should put it into practice. All that things, right? So because they don't understand pramana, because it's a what Atma Vastu is already Siddham. Okay, it's a Siddha Vastu, not a Sadhya. This Swarupa is not Sadhyam. It is already Siddham. Your Swarupa is already free. Moksha Swarupa is Siddham only. Just that you don't know. So that's a very important thing. That's why it is a pramana which gives you upper. I have to keep telling this again and again because this is the key. How you look upon the Shastra words is what is the biggest difference. Okay, that will make the difference about whether one can gain this jnanam or not. That is what people don't understand. The pramana. So Puji Swamiji used to tell, he also had this similar situation, right? He was with the different gurus and paperback. He also read all this Vedanta translations and this and that, and he was kind of lost. Then when he went to Pranavananda, one Swami in Andhra Pradesh, in Gudivada, that is where this Pramana aspect of Vedanta he understood from Pranavananda. So he considers Swami Pranavananda as a very important, link for him in gaining this. Because the Pramana Pravritti, how it happens, Vedanta Shabda, because I think I spoke in earlier sessions also, this jnanam happens as a vritti vyapti. It is only a vritti because there is no palavya, because you are not going to objectify Brahman. It is not going to be a Indriya Pratyaksham or Sakshi Pratyaksham, right? It is because you. And so it is not a objectified jnanam. That means only vritti vyapti can be there. So which is also about eliminating the notional mistakes that is there. Once the mistakes are removed, swayam prakashate, because it is you. It can't be, it has to be a swayam prakasha. Then only it can be you, correct? If it is you, then it has to present itself. It should have been presenting itself all the time. Then only that is how this jnanam takes place. So that means that vritti happens through Shastra. The Shastra Pramana, by these Vakyas, when you look through the vision presented by the Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, then all this ignorance, the superimpositions are removed, then Atma Swayam Prakasate. So that people don't understand. And these Vakyas and this portion of Bhashya explicitly focuses on that. Okay, so here, that's why he says Vijnana Pramana Samakalameva. Anartha Prapancha Nivritti Palam Parisa. Anartha Prapancha Nivritti Palam is what? Mukti, moksha. That is moksha. There is no other moksha. Anartha Prapancha includes your Swargadi. Prapancha is not only this human body thing, right? Even Swargadi is Anartha Prapancha, because that also is a limited time you will be there and then you have to come back, and that also you keep craving for. Suppose Swarga is a very pleasant experience and your punya gets over. Now you come back. Suppose you have memory of the Swarga that you experience. Then what happens? Craving. You feel separated from Swarga. You want to go back for that. So that's a craving, no? Unless this Swarga is eternal. And even if it is eternal, after some time you will get bored. Because it's a human mind. How long you will enjoy? Any enjoyment has its own lapse time, right? So there's an expiry. After that, any greatest food also, after some eating, 7 rounds, somebody may take 10 rounds of gulab jamun. After that, so your Swargadi also is Anartha only. Any experience that you go after is Anartha. So Anartha Prapancha Nivritti. Therefore, what is moksha? All this Anartha Prapancha Nivritti, including Swargadi, is what is called moksha. So then moksha siddhi is when Vijnana Pramana Samakalameva. And what Vijnana Pramana Samakalam? Antah Prajnaditva Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana Samakalameva. Atmani Anatta Prapancha Nivritti Lakshana Palam. So this Atmani Anartha Prapancha, that Adhyasa which is there, that goes away. This Anartha Prapancha, everything is Atma, means Anartha Prapancha is also superimposed on Atma. And that is gone. It's not like it exists somewhere and it goes away from you. You are away from it. Means what? There is that Swarga is there, but I won't experience because I have become Atma. Naraka is there, then I won't experience because I have now become Atma. It's not like that. Even that Anartha Prapancha, including all the Swarga, Naraka and all that, it is all superimposed, because if you are Sarvatma, that is also superimposed only. Only when you are a Vyakti, then all this Swarga, Naraka and all that can be other entities. Okay. So Antaprajnaditva Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana Samakalameva Atmani Anartha Prapancha Nivritti Lakshana Balam Parisamaptamiti Turiyadikame Pramanantaram Sadhanantaram Vana Mrigyam. So after this Antaprajnatvadi, you don't need anything more to understand Turiya. Because the question is, suppose I want to understand what is a lotus. After telling lotus is not sun, lotus is not moon, lotus is not earth, lotus is not human being, lotus is not a lion, lotus is not anger, lotus is not all that, you have to then say something more about lotus. Isn't it? You don't have to tell it is not sun and all in the first place. Even if you tell all that, then you have to say lotus is a flower. It grows in ponds and mud, and it is kind of rose and white in color, something like that you have to describe. And then that is prakatyam of the flower. So you have to give some specific knowledge about rose or lotus before you can understand what is lotus. Whereas in the case of Atma, you don't need to say what is Atma, because you can't say. It doesn't have any attributes. You can't say Atma is always, golden in color. It is pure. It is not touched by, this body. All that you can't say. Everything is attribute. If you say positive, negative, everything is attribute. What it is not, only you can say, because it is niravayavam. So there is no way you can positively say anything about it. Therefore, antaprajnaditva pratiseda vijnana pramanam. What it is not alone you say, that is enough. Because Atma swayam prakashate. So for whom does it prakashate? When you say prakashate, then that means for me, I have to see that prakasha of Atma. See that prakashate also, right? You have to understand what it means. It is your own existence. It is not a buddhi. In the buddhi, it doesn't come and suddenly do a prakasha. That's not what it is. In fact, you already know it. The jnanam, when it takes place, that's why ha, hu, ha, and all the Upanishad says, right? The person who gains this is ecstatic because he thinks, oh, how foolish I was. This is what was something I already kind of knew. That's how the jnanam takes place. Then only, because that is what is that prakasham. Chidyate hridaye grantihi vidyate sarva samshayaha tasmin drishte paravare. When that what breaks is this ajnana only. That ajnana nasham only takes place. Therefore, antaprajnaditva pratisheda vijnanam is what is the pratisheda only is needed. And there is no other pramanantaram, sadhanantaram. Pramanantaram also you don't need. Sadhanantaram also you don't need. You don't need any means of knowing, any instrument also, because you're not going to do anything. It's not like after knowing about Atma, you have to do a Vajapaya Yaga to stabilize this. Nothing like that. Because like we have seen, everything is this Atma only. Okay. So there is no sadhana there is no instrument which is other than Brahman. So now some questions obviously are coming. Rajju Sarpa Viveka Samakaleyo. It gives an example. Rajjvam Sarpana Vritti Vale Sati Rajjadikamasya. We saw this. Yasham Punaha. तमोपनय व्यतिरेकेन घटादिगमे प्रमाणं प्राप्यते तेषां चेद्यावय संबंध वियोग व्यतिरेकेन अंतरावयवे अपि चिदिः व्याप्रियते इति उक्तं स्यात्. Now the question, like we said, the lotus description is needed. Like that, some people say just removal of darkness is not enough to know a part, because gata prakatyam is needed. You have to give what is the stability of it, what is the weight of it, what is the color of it, what is the dimension of it, then only I can understand. What, suppose somebody is new to part, I don't know the part. Suppose there are 10 things. Let's say in one room, it is fully dark. There is a pot, there is a can, there is a ball, there is a elephant, let's say, or a rat, and then there is a shirt. All that is here. This fellow doesn't know any of this. He is like a child. Okay. Now I need to know what is a pot. Then you put the light on. The person still doesn't know what is a pot. Something is visible, but there are so many things there. How do I know what is pot? Then I have to specifically say, you see this shirt, it is not that shirt, it is not this, it's not that. That one is the pot. And that pot means what? It has to hold water, it has something inside, it is like 3 centimeter in diameter. All that you say, then I have understood pot, correct? So like that here also, just saying this not it, this not it is not enough, but you have to clearly describe will be the question. So yesham punaha, so that kind of, that is bhattamata. Okay, so mimamsakas and others say that this is not tamopanaya, is not enough. Darkness removal is not enough for gatadigama. There needs to be other pramanam more than that. So Bhashyakara says it is not, we are only talking about getting the part for vyavahara. That's it. Okay. Suppose, because it's not about, if you totally don't know about part, that is another ajnana. Okay. That ajnana nivritti is not what we are talking about. It is to bring part to for vyavahara. That is why he gives another example. Chedyavaya sambandha viyoga vyatirekena anyatara avayave api chidihi vyapriyate. So what they are saying is, he's talking about that bhattamata. He's saying, if you have to break away something, let's say there is a main log, and then there is a small branch which is kind of getting rotten, suppose. Now I want to remove that rotten branch so that the rest of the log can be saved. Let's say termites have come into that branch. So what do I have to do? Just cut it. After cutting, the cutting as an action, does it again do something more on this? That's what he asked. Chedyavaya sambandha viyoga vyatire. So just cut off. That's it. Then it has got separated. Chedyavaya sambandha viyoga vyatirekena anyadara avayepi chidihi vyapriyate iti uktam syat. Yada punaha gatatamassoho vivekakarane pravrittam pramanam. What is the pramanam trying to do here? Gatatamassoho vivek. It just wants to separate the part from the darkness. The part is today unavailable to you to do vyavahara because it is covered by darkness. The effort here is just to remove the darkness so that you can start using that part. That is the effort. Now don't keep adding things like, I need to understand the dimension of the part. That is a different thing. And also in the case of the Ashtanta, it is Atmavastu. You don't need to teach somebody, and you can't teach also because it is that person, Atma. What will you teach? So here he says, Yadapanaha Katatamassoho Vivekakarane Pravrittam Pramanam Anubaditchita Tamonuvritti Palavasanam. The unwanted darkness alone has to be removed, like that branch which is getting termite infected is cut off. That's it. So this log is for you. Now here Anubaditchita Tamonuvritti Palavasanam. So this Anubaditchita, unwanted darkness removal, is the end of it. Pala avasanam. So the fruit of, what is the fruit of this tamonuvritti? The gata viveka has taken place. Gata is there. Whether the pot is there in the room or not, I want to know. I kept the pot. So you look at the example this way, right? I don't know where I kept the pot after using it 2 days back. So is it in this room? Is the question. But there is no light in the room. Now I need to know this. Switch on the light. That's all. It is available. That is the example. Okay. That is how Atma is. So Ajnana Nivritti is enough because it is there. What you don't have to come and keep it. It is there. You just have to remove the darkness. Like that, Atma is there. Brahman is already there. Like as you, all you need is remove the ignorance. Chidihi iva chedyavaya sambandha viveka karane pravritta tad avayava dvaidi bhava palavasana. The cutting is enough for separating. You don't have to do anything more to separate them. The moment it is cut, it may lie together, doesn't matter, but then the fact that you have cut it means they are separated. Tad avayava dvaidi bhava pala avasana. Tada na antarikam gata vijnanam na tat pramanapalam. So it is intention is not to give more description about gata and all that. That is not the intent. It is to make the gata available to you for use. That's it. Okay. Similarly, your Atma has to be what you have said. By ignorance that has separated is now brought back to you notionally. Okay. In a sense, dasamonashtaha. Like the 10th man who from Paramananda Guru, who 10 people swim and each guy counts 9, leaving that person himself. Okay, so how is the 10th guy obtained back? By removal of ignorance. What ignorance? That you are not counting yourself. That ignorance is removed and the 10th person is obtained. So it's a notional statement. Was this 10th person really obtained? No. But wasn't he obtained? Yes, because till then I was crying that he was lost. Like that only, it is the, you gain the Atma. Nacha tatvate atrapi atmani adhyaropita antah prajnatvadi viveka karane pravrittasya pratisheda vijnana pramanasya anupaditsita antah prajnatvadi nivritti vyatirekena turiye vyaparopapattihi. Nacha tadvate, not so in this case also. Atrapi atmani adhyaropita. In Atma, what is adhyaropitam? Antah prajnam, bahish prajnatvam, ubetah prajnatvam, prajnana ghanatvam, prajnatvam, aprajnatvam, all these things. Viveka karane pravrittasya. When you are trying to distinguish, analyze them, pratisheda vijnana pramanasya. So this pratisheda vijnanam, it is not this, not this, not this, that vijnanam. Anupaditsita antah prajnatvadi nivritti vyatirekena. Other than the removal of unwanted differences of antah prajna, bahish prajna, etc. Turiya vyapara upapattihi. There is no other vyapara needed for you to understand Turiya. See, that is why you have to say it is na antah prajnam, na bahish prajnam and all that. Because as an antah prajna, you are Turiya. Then only you have to say, see, suppose I want to understand clay. For me to understand what is clay, do I need to say clay is not sun, clay is not moon, clay is not horse? I don't have to say. But suppose I have 10 things made of clay. Okay. One is a clay pot, one is a clay lid, one is a clay can, one is a clay ball, one is a clay, some idol toy, then clay bus. Like that, suppose there are 10 objects, but there is no lump of clay. And this kid thinks that these are like ball and pot and lid and bus and all that. But the kid doesn't understand they are all made of clay. Let's say, okay. Then how do you teach? See, all these 10 are clay. The kid will say, no, these are not clay. This is a bus. That is a toy. That is an idol. That is a lid. That is a pot. But where is clay? No, clay is neither pot nor bus. But then what is here is all clay. Suppose you say. Then slowly that kid understands, oh, what makes up all this is the clay. In this case, okay, again, don't, in the Drashtantika, don't think that, Atma has made up all this, like, has become all this. That's not the idea. The idea is the content of all this is clay. Okay, so you have to say clay is not bus. You have to say clay is not lid. You have to say clay is not pot, because the child thinks clay is pot, clay is lid. It is not thinking a wall is clay or sun is clay or moon is clay. It's not thinking that, but it is thinking this lid is the clay. It is taking as lid and ball and all that. Okay, therefore there you have to say it is not that. So this Atma, because it is taken as Bahishprajna, Antahprajna and all that, you have to through negation show that the content of that is, because there is no other place. See, it says, right? Earlier Bhashyakara says, Dwara Bhavat. There is no other place, there is Turiya. You have only these three states. Bahishprajnatvam, Antahprajnatvam, Prajnana Ghanatvam are the only three states that you are, there is no other thing. So there is no other way to reach Turiya. You have to reach Turiya only through these three states. Because in fact, you have to reach it through Vakan only, correct? The other two are known during Vakan. So you have to negate these to show what is Turiya. Now there will be one question. Just by negating in word, how can I get it? Is going to ask. Okay, we'll come to that. So like that, Turiye Vyapara Upapattihi na. There is no other Vyapara. Like Chidi Vyapara is only in Chedya Avayava. There is in each of the Avayava, again you have to have to do any other Vyapara. Like that, this Nisheda, Pratisheda is enough. There is no other Vyapara for Turiyadikama. Antahprajnatvadi nivritti samakalameva pramatrittvadi beda nivrittehe. Okay, pramadritva beda, prameyatva beda, pramadritvadi. Okay, pramata, prameya, pramana is your experience. Whole experience is this triputi only. Mana matri meye. Pramana pramatri prameya only is your world experience. Every moment you are a pramata. In the Vakan and in the dream. There is a pramana, there is a prameya. There is a wall, there is sight, and there is the seer of the wall. There is sound, there is ears and the hearer of the sound. That is how the world is, my experience is. The moment this pramana, pramatri, prameya, triputi is gone, that is jnanam. Anta prajnaditva nivritti samakalameva pramatrittvadi beda nivrittihe. Okay, this beda also goes away. Samakalameva tatacha vakshyati jnate dvaitam na vidyate. Jnate dvaitam na vidyate. There is no duality when the Brahman is, Turiya is understood, known. Jnanasya dvaita nivritti kshanavyatireka kshanantara anavasthanat. Very interesting sentence. The jnanasya dvaita nivritti kshanavyatireka kshanantara anavasthanat. The dvaita nivritti kshana only this vritti takes place. This vritti comes and removes the dvaita. That kshanam, in that moment only that vritti jnanam is there. After that, that jnanam can't, that vritti can't be there. The moment it has created this jnanam, it has to fall off. Any jnanam is like that. Suppose you don't know what is 3 plus 4. Suppose you don't know as a child. Now this 3 plus 4 jnanam takes place. You have understood. Okay, a basics. Let's not take a very complicated thing. Very simple, something that has to be revealed. Okay, this is a cat. Suppose that jnanam has taken place by a vritti that this is the cat. After that, that vritti can't keep happening again and again. It can't exist because that ajnanam is already gone. The kid has now known what is a cat. After that, that vritti which creates the knowledge of cat can't exist. Jnanasya dvaita nivritti kshana vyatirekena kshanantara anavasthanat. Avasthanecha anavastha prasangat dvaita anivrittihi. Suppose that vritti has to again come. How can it come? Only if the duality exists. If after one vritti has removed the Dvaita, again Dvaita comes back, then suppose again this vritti has to come, okay, then that means anavastha dosha, because it can again and again and again and again Dvaita can come. Again and again this vritti has, so it is an anavastha. It is like, what is it called? Ad infinitum. Like it will keep on going. It can't stop. But it doesn't happen like that. The vritti, once it takes place, the Dvaita bhavam has gone forever. Therefore, tasmat प्रतिषेध विज्ञान प्रमाण व्यापार समकालमेव आत्मनि अध्यारोपित अंतःप्रज्ञत्वादि अनर्थ निवृत्तिः इति सिद्धम्. Therefore, it is established that this jnanam happens right at the time, that kshanam, when pratisheda vijnana pramana has operated. Okay, so then your turiyavagama takes place at the same time. Nantah prajnam iti taijasa pratishedaha. And he now comes, so all the Purvapaksha Siddhanta is done. Bhashyakara comes back to giving the meaning for the Shrutivakya, na antah prajnam, na bahish prajnam, na ubhayatah prajnam, na prajnanaganam, na prajnam, na aprajnam, ekatma pratyesaram, dvaitopashamam shantam, all that, right? Prapanchopashamam shantam, Shivam and all that. Agrahyam, Adrishyam Agrahyam, Avyavadeshyam, all that, right? Now, so coming to na antah prajnamiti taijasa pratishedaha. What is na antah prajnam? It is not taijasa. Now the question is, just because it says it is not taijasa, is it enough? Okay, so now we have to see why is it not taijasa? Because it is mutual, it is incidental. That is what Bhashyakara is going to say. Okay, it is incident. It is not there forever. Yes, something is its nature only if it is always there. When the dream is there, Vakan is not there. When Vakan is there, dream is not there. When like that, it is mutually non-existent. Okay, so it just happens and even when it is happening, if you analyze, it doesn't exist. Therefore, na antah prajnam iti taijasa pratishedaha, na bahish prajnam iti vishwa pratishedaha. The bahish, it is not bahish prajnam. So when it says it's not bahish prajnam, it is not that which you think is it in the Vakan. Okay, in Vakan you think I am Vakan, this person, as opposed to the whole Jagat. It is not that. Okay, that's what it says. Na bahish prajnam iti vishwa pratishedaha, na ubhayatah prajnam iti jagra. So there are two things. Okay, one, there is a Shruti Vakya. It says na antah prajnam. Okay, now how do I take it? How do I take this? If I have a Shraddha in Shruti, like all this, most of the Astika Darshakas, they have Shraddha. That Shruti Vakya is given by Ishvara. Shruti is Ishvara. It is given by Ishvara. Okay, we say Shruti itself is Ishvara. But some Sampradaya say it is given. Okay, Adau Proktavan. Okay, so Bhagavan says in Gita. Like that people take. It is given by Ishvara. Ishvara means Krishna or whatever. Somebody takes it as Krishna, somebody take Mahavishnu, someone will take that Shiva, all that. That Pauranika Devata. Okay, and gives as given. Now then that is Shraddha. Then you take it na antah prajnam. So you are saying, okay, Shruti has said it is not antah prajnam. So it can't be antah prajnam. Okay, fine. I believe. Okay. So that is one way of Pramanya Buddhi in Shruti, which is okay. Let us say it says that Swarga exists. After death, you will go there if you do Vajapeya or Somayaga. So you give Pramanya to Shruti. So you say, okay, Shruti has said, so it should be true. Okay, Bhagavan said. Now here, just second thing is, if na antah prajnam is you, what is you think you are Vakan, this guy who is experiencing this Vakan is not you. It's the Turiya which is you. Suppose Shruti says that. Then I can't say, yes, I believe, because Shruti has said. because it's talking about me. I can't say I believe it, and it doesn't say you will become this Nyapti Swarupam. He says you are. Now I need to see how is it saying I am not Taijasa, and it also shows how you are not. See, that is why it's a prakriya. It is the method. All this analysis is a way. The Purvapaksha Siddhanta also is a way to make you see this. So how can you be Anta? First of all, simply see this. Suppose this moment I am waken, another moment I am a sleeper, another moment I am a deep sleeper, another moment I am a dreamer, another moment I am in a vague state. So that means these things are incidental attributes on me. They are not always there. So they are coming and going. So for whom are these coming and going? What is it which is there, which is witnessing all of them one after the other? Na vijñātuhu vijñātehe viparilopaha vidyate. What is invariably present, but at the same time is not any of this individually? That is something which is you, and that should be cognizable, assimilatable knowledge, because it is right now, that is what you are. So it is not like just because it is saying Nanta Prajnam, you believe in it. It's not that way. Okay. Taijasa Pratishedaha, it is doing and it is showing how it is not Anta Prajnam. Bhashikara will discuss that. So na Bahish Prajnam iti Vishwa Pratishedaha. It is not, you are not Vishwa also. Na Ubayatah Prajnam. Okay. Iti Jagrat Swapanayoho Antarala Avastha Pratishedaha. So when you say Anta Prajnam Navai, then you might say, before I fully wake up, I am like, half awake. Is it that one? Antarala Avastha. It is neither half awake state. Which is not half awake state? The Turiya. Na Prajnana Ganam Sushupta Avastha Pratishedaha. We'll see the Bhashya. He will ask, in fact, Bhashikara will say, there will be a question, no? Earlier, the Shruti itself said, Yesha Sarveswaraha, all that, right? For Sushupti, this Prajnana Gana is the Sarveswara. Why? Because Bija Bhava. Next word, next line he says, Bija Bhava Aviveka Rupatvat. Okay, the Sushupti is Bija Bhava. It is Aviveka Rupa. It is this in the seed form. That's why it is Yesha Sarveswaraha. It is the creator from which only the Vakan comes. We saw that earlier, right? The Dwaram from which the Vakan and dream arise is the deep sleep. So it is the Bija Bhava. Aviveka Rupa also. Therefore, it is not Atma. Atma can't have Bija Bhava or Aviveka Rupa. That's not how Atma is presented by Shruti. So Bija Bhava Aviveka Rupatvat na Prajnana Ghanam. न प्रज्ञमिति युगपत् सर्व विषय प्रज्ञातृत्व प्रतिषेधः. Then the question is, why is it saying na prajnam? You people are saying Atma is Nyapti Surupam. So Bhashyakara, prajnam, it is not just Nyapti, prajnam, prakarshena, pra is there. Therefore, it is about knowing something. Okay, vritti. So it is not, it is, what we say is Atma, Shastra says is the content of prajna, which is Nyaptihi. The essence of Prajnatratvam, which is Satta Matratvam. That is only Atma or Brahman, not the Prajna. That's why he says Sarva Vishaya Yugapat Prajnatratva. At the same time knowing things, right? So the manifold knowing. So this Ashtavadani and all that. Or even Ishvara. Sarva Vishaya Prajnatratvam, the Saguna Brahman, means Sarva Vishaya Yugapat Prajnatratvam. Yugapat Prajnatratvam is there because the Saguna Ishvara is Nyapti Surupam and Jnana only, right? The not Nyapti Surupam is knowledge, all knowledge at the same time. Okay, that is the Upadi. So that is what Sarva Vishaya Prajnatratvam Yugapat. At the same time, everything is known to the Ishvara. It is, in fact, Ishvara is in the form of knowledge only. Okay, that also is Pratishiddham because that is also a Upadi. dharma only, Ishvara Upadi. So Sarva Vishaya Prajnatritva, Yugapat Prajnatritva Pratishedha. Then Na Aprajnam iti Achaitanya Pratishedha. It is neither inert. Atma can't be inert. Inert, how can it exist as an independent existence which knows everything? Okay. Then question is Katam Punaha Anta Prajnatvadinam Atmani Gamyamananam Rajwadu Sarpadivat Pratishedat Asatvam Gamyate iti. So how just by Pratisheda, okay, it become non-existent? See, in Rajju you can say Sarpadi Pratisheda can be done, but Sarpa is not a total non-existent. No, somewhere else there is a real Sarpa. So you can't say it is non-existent. Okay, here you have made a mistake. Whereas in the case of Jagat, you are not like somewhere else there is a Jagat. That Jagat I have come and superimposed on Atma. So I am saying Atma is not Jagat, means Jagat is elsewhere, Atma is elsewhere. So these are two different things. It's not like that, no. We are saying it is a complete asset. There is nothing called Jagat. How is it possible? Okay, so Rajvadu Sarpanavritti is different. You are in one thing you are superimposing another. Okay, so the another also exists somewhere else. There is a snake somewhere else. Only in this rope it is not there. Whereas in the case of your Turiya and Jagat, you are not separating them. You are saying one doesn't exist at all. Okay. So how is it possible? Asatvam gamyate. How does asatvam happen? Uchyate nyaswarupa viseshayapi iteretera vibhicharat rajvadaviva sarpa dharadi vikalpa bhedat. Okay, it is like this. Again, take the example of Rajju only. How this Sarpa, Dhara, all this, none of them is always there. They are mutually exclusive. Similarly, here also, all this Visheshas, Nyaswarupa, Avisheshayapi, even though this Nyaha, the Jnapti is there in all the states, Prajnaha, Prajnaha, Prajnana Ganaha, everything you see a Jna, without Jna it's not there. Nothing is, all the states has a Jna. Bahish Prajnam, Ubayatah Prajnam, Antah Prajnam, Prajnana Ganam. You see a Jna is there always. Other letters change. Plus Jna Surupam is there invariably. Jna Surupa Abhiseshe. But even then, Itaretara Vyabhicharat. That state, nature of the states are mutually exclusive. Like your Sarpadara and all that are mutually. So that means they don't stick. Like that is the example. Okay. It's so in this case, all those things are non-existent as Nyaha. Sarvatra avyabhicharat nyaswarupasya satyatvam. But the Nya is there all the time. Therefore, it is Satyam. Because there is no Vibhichara, Abadita. There is no Bada. There is no time that Nya is not there. Even when you are recognizing time, Nya is there. When you are recognizing space, Nya is there. When you are recognizing objects, Nya is there. When you are not recognizing anything in deep sleep, also Nya is there. That is the question he is going to ask now. Sushukte Vyabhijarati iti chet. But I am not aware in the deep sleep. Only in waken and dream, there is awareness. Deep sleep means what? It's total darkness. Na Shushuptasya Anubhuyamanatvat. No, you are experiencing sleep. Then only you. Otherwise, nobody will know that there has been a sleep. Correct? How can anybody say that I slept? Because there is anubhava. Otherwise, something called sleep would never be known. The fact that it is known means, otherwise there will be loss of time. It will be 10 o'clock and suddenly it will be 5 o'clock. But that doesn't happen like that. I had a good sleep. I have a tired sleep. I had a disturbed sleep. How is it said? Because there is that anubhava. Your own anubhava. We are not saying that guy is sleeping. That anubhava we are not saying. When I am sleeping also, that anubhava is there. But you can say in death there is no anubhava. See, this anubhava also is some kind of a buddhi vritti. Okay. Is a sakshi pratyaksha vritti. Here, sakshi pratyaksha, right? There is no vritti, but it is witnessed. But that witnessing nature is also is part of buddhi only. But it is illuminated. That is why we have to say it's the content of Nyaha, the Satta alone. Otherwise, the question will be in death, it is not there. No. You will ask that question. When somebody has died, even a deep sleep thing has not been. It's like a deep sleep only, we'll say. But then for you to say that you existed in death means you have to come back. But when you come back, it is not death. So how can you say there is existence will be the question. So that's why you have to understand, for you to even say that that imprint is there, where that I have done, I had a witness perception in sleep, that imprint is there in your buddhi. Okay, that is memory. Sakshi Pratyaksha imprint also is there in memory. Okay, that I slept has to be in memory, no? Then only I can say that. Now, with death, this upadhi itself is not there, so memory is gone. Okay, so the instrument, the karanam, which is mano, buddhi, chitta, and all that, is needed for you to say that I had an anubhava of deep sleep. So once that karanam is gone, obviously you can't, there's no, and it's not same karanam is not going to come back. Okay, so with that, that particular person and that particular jivatma, that particular upadhi, avacchinnatvam is gone. Okay, so you are not able to say. That is it. That's what we need to understand. Otherwise, that question will come, because you will think, okay, we are just taking this wake and dream, deep sleep, some experience as Atma, Brahman, and all that. But what about death? And how do you know you survive death? It is the same jiva which comes back to the next birth, and all that is only Shastra Pramana, Shruti Pramana, right? There is no, you can have supporting logic. Okay, say how does your horoscope tell things about you? All that you can say, but even that is not a directly established. It's only inferential pramana, right? Anumanam sadhyam only. So that is why you have to understand this nyaptihi. The content of it is astitvam, but that it is unrecognizable, because if you actually look at the Vekan itself, even in Vekan, where does existence come from? Which lends existence to all the experiences? That has to be the Sat. The Satyam has to be the one which lends existence to everything. And where is the existence coming? What is the source of the existence? It has to be only Atma, because everything else is, if you analyze, goes away. The only thing that is, so that has to transcend time and space. So it is recognizable, and also it is an assimilatable jnanam, because there is nothing else which can be the Satyam. It is very evident when you analyze the Jagat. It is quite evident that nothing else can be Satyam. Only because everything is, so that everything is a Chidvilasam. Every experience is nothing but, it is a dance of Chit Sabha. Okay, so the Chit Sabha is the world, because whole world is on your Chaitanya only. Everything is Chidvilasa only. There is nothing which is away. There is nothing which is away from Chaitanya. Your Jnanam is not away from Chaitanya. Your Pramatritvam is not away from Chaitanya. Your Prameya Vastu is not away from Chaitanya, because it is pervaded by the Pramana Vyapara. Then only its existence is established. When your Pramana Vyapara happens, only a sun is established, a moon is established, a wall is established. Without it being a Prameya for a Pramata, there is no sun, there is no moon. Okay, it is not away from the experience of the experiencer. And the content of the experience is Chaitanya only. Content of the experiencer is also Chaitanya, Turiyam. Content of what is experienced is also Turiyam Chaitanyam, because it is Pramana Vyaptam. Okay. So it is pervaded by the experience. Okay. The Chaitanyam pervades the object of experience, the experience and the experiencer. All the Triputi, entire three, there is no separation from them. Okay. And they have to always exist together. There is no Pramata without a Prameya. There is no Prameya without Pramata. And there is no Pramata Prameya without it having a Pramana Vyapara. And all three are supported by what? This Turiya only. That's why he said, when this Pratisheda happens, then Pramatrittvadi Pratisheda also happens at the same time. Because you are being a Indriya Pratyakshatvam, Sakshi Pratyakshatvam, all of them are supported by the same Surupa. And that is always there. Nahi vijñātuhu vijñātehe viparilopaha vidyate iti shrutehe. So there is no viparilopaha. The absence of vijñātu is not ever witnessed in vijñāti, vijñātehe. So what is witnessed? Whatever object, there is never an absence of vijñāta. So if you say sun exists, that means vijñāta is already there. Because to say sun exists, vijñāta has to be there. Simple, no? Then only someone can say sun exists. And when someone has to say sun exists, I see the sun, that means already vijñātu, the Nyapti is already there. No, if everybody is dead, but sun can still be there, how can you say that? It is inseparable from it being an object of perception. Therefore, the Swarupa is Turiya Vastu only, is all that exists. There is nothing other than the Turiya Vastu. So because all the three states are Turiya Vastu means there is nothing other than it. Ataha eva adrishtham. Therefore, it is not objectified. That which is the content of everything, how can it be the one which is seen? Yasmat adrishtam tasmat avyavaharyam agrahyam karmendriyaihi alakshanam alingitam alingam ityetate ananumeyam ityartaha. It is not Anumana Sadhyam also. We will see all this in the next session. We are coming to the end. But quickly see the Bhashya here. Ataha eva achintyam ataha eva avyapadeshyam sabdaihi. Can't say by words in your question, but you are saying, no? Yeah, you can't. So it is not a Vachyartha. That's what it means. Ekatma pratyasaram jagradadi sthaneshu eka ayamatma iti avyabhichari yaha pratyaha tena anusaraniyam. Very beautifully he says, Ekatma pratyasaram means in all these things, this Atma is one. It is avyabhichari. That is one. Another example, another meaning also he says, Atava ekaha atma pratyaha saram pramanam yasya. Saram means pramanam, he says. Turiyasya adhigame. Tat turiyam ekatma pratya saram atma eva iti upasita iti shruteha. Antaprajñatvadi sthani dharma pratishedaha kritaha prapanchopashamam iti jagradadi sthana dharma abhavaha uchyate. Ataha eva shantam shivam. So this whole thing, only because all these are negated, all these gunas become its, describable, is what he says. Because what is opposed to Shanti? Samsara only. What is opposed to Shivam, which is Mangalam, what is the Amangalam, Ashubham? It is Vyavahara only. So all the Vyavahara is Anartha Prapancha, which is Vishwa Taijasa Prajnaha. And by the Nisheda, you recognize you are a Shanta, Shiva, Prapanchopashama, all that. Pratisheda. Okay. So once through Shruti Vakya, the Pratisheda has been done and you recognize this is assimilated, then you also cognize that your Surupa is Shanta Shiva Surupa, Advaita Surupa. That is mukti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.